That was terrifying.
It's okay. It sounded.
I didn't know the last part. That's wrong. Well, I hated that.
Should we dare plant some grapes?
I don't know. It's too on the dust. I think we're waiting.
Hello, Superintendent Chavez, Board President Bose, members of the Superintendent's Cabinet, Assistant Superintendent Marano, Assistant Superintendent Hagley, Assistant Superintendent Casau, Deputy Superintendent Romero, Board President Bose, and Board Member Dr. Carmen Garcia Gonzalez, Mandela staff, members, parents, grandparents, and all witnesses that are here today. We're here to celebrate the class of 2023. Para los que preferirían escuchar en español, les voy a dar la más cálida bienvenida, pero disculpen, voy a dar este discurso en inglés. This is a momentous day for you 27 graduates that are here today, and really it's a daunting task for me to have to represent our staff and speak to you today as we mark your exit from Mandela International Magnet School into this great big world. And so I was, perhaps me being a dad nowadays, or perhaps being the principal of a very small school, there's been this question that's been on my mind the last few weeks as I've been thinking about this day. And it's this nagging question that I think I can speak for all staff members is, have we done enough? And have we done enough to prepare all of you for this great big world that comes next? And so I did quite a bit of thinking as I'm a reflective principal, one of our 10 learner profile traits. But I thought of 3 qualities that I can confidently speak to all of you about, and it's the qualities of resilience and of research and of service. And we all know that you have come through a really daunting pandemic. And with that, you dealt with separation, you dealt with loss of contact. We, for 2 years, really knew you as two-dimensional beings until we read your work. And so the pandemic marks someone that's 16 years old a lot differently than it marks someone that's 48 years old for 2 years. And you've had to deal with that. And I know that you've also dealt with separation, and separation of friends that have left this school or left this state, and perhaps you don't understand why, but you've also dealt with grief. And we heard of the stages of grief the other night in your concert. And I know that you've lost at least one classmate, and you've all dealt with that differently. But through that, you've shown resilience, and that's a laudable quality. I think about, we in the IB, we talk a lot about research, we talk a lot about academics, and here's one thing that I found. I went down a rabbit hole the other day, and I thought, why do we do research in the first place? Well, we try to find a better truth, and it may not be the entire truth, but we try to find something that feels closer to the truth. So I looked up your extended essay topics, and for those of you behind these graduates, the extended essay is a 4,000-word research paper that these students did over the course of a year and a half outside of class time. And let me read you some of the topics that they investigated. To what extent did segregation laws inhibit or aid the U.S. healthcare system? How did Jackie Robinson affect the civil rights movement? To what extent does contemporary painter Lee Price depict how a woman in today's society feels about her body? To what extent was the forced migration and the partition of India and Pakistan a form of ethnic cleansing? To what extent does PTSD affect methylethon and dimethylethon processes in epigenetic structure? To what extent is modern mathematics dependent upon the foundation of set theory? I challenge any adult in this room to do that level of research. And I see the depth of research that you have done, looking for answers at a profound level, and we may not find the answers, but you certainly know how to look. And in this society where we don't honestly know where the truth lies and what news is real and what's from ChatGPT, you have gotten tools to try to come closer to what might be the truth. And then I investigated some of your CAS. And I don't need to explain to the people in the front row what CAS is, but to you in the past the front row, these students over the course of a year and a half in their 11th and 12th grade year did 150 hours of creativity, activity, and service. And to me, what lies most important is the service, because they did it right in this town. And so let me share with you some of the service that these 27 graduates did in Santa Fe. 55 hours of tutoring during the summer at the Santa Fe Public Library, tutoring students at Milagro Middle School, working with young students with Girls on the Run, volunteering for extensive hours with communities and schools, teaching Sunday school weekly, teaching preschool, working with our Natural Helpers Club, volunteering for 112 hours as a summer camp counselor in the Jemez, cleaning arroyos, speaking at new student orientations, teaching dance to children at NDI, Wise Fool Summer Camp, volunteer firefighting, children's ministries, volunteering at Pete's Place, and more. This is the impact that you've made right here in our hometown. You've done service in great part because it's a requirement by the IB, but you've also shown that service has become part of who you are. And when you walk into this great big world, you can make an impact on the society around us. In your exit interviews, I sat down with not all of you, but a lot of you, and you told me some stories about Mandela. It was touching when I asked Maddie, right down there, when I asked Maddie, what could be improved about our school? And Maddie smiled, as Maddie always smiles, and without even taking a breath, she said, what could be improved about Mandela? Well, I don't know, I love this school. And what reassures me is to hear the joy of someone in an imperfect situation, as schools are imperfect, but stand there and say, this is great, I love this. And so, graduates, find what to love wherever you are. Your situation may not change, but your perspective surely will as you go through this life. And I know that you all know the story of how the IB came into being, but I'm going to share it for the people that are witnessing this today. In Geneva, Switzerland in 1968, a group of scholars met, upset at the atrocities of World War II. They made a plan for a better tomorrow, and the IB was born. They were in a dark time in the history of our world, but they were optimistic about the future, and their solution lied in education and in educating differently. And you, Mandela Lions, have been educated differently. So the question that I started with, will you be all right as we let you go? We can no longer control when you come to class and when you leave. We can no longer control the deadlines of your reports, and will you be all right? In many ways, we live in a challenging world, but there's so much beauty, there's so much opportunity, there's so much creativity. You've been prepared to see it, to embrace it, to cherish it, and to improve the world just by being you. So to close, I think of the poem that moved us all at the last presidential inauguration. Amanda Gorman, the voice of youth, wrote during a time of turmoil, but held true to the optimism of a better day. She finishes her poem, The Hill We Climb, with, when day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Today, you take a giant step forward, aflame and unafraid. Go towards the light. It's always there. Find the light, be the light, brighten the light. Mandela Lions, I can say with confidence, it's because of you that we, the staff at Mandela International Magnet School, are optimistic about the future. Step into this new world. Be the bright humanity that we have prepared you to be. And in the words of Nelson Mandela, it's in your hands to make a better world for all who live in it. Congratulations, Lion. This is your day. I'd like to introduce our superintendent, Larry Chavez.
Thank you, Mr. Grillo. I also want to acknowledge the graduates here first before I get into what I have to share with you today. Of the 20, and this is for the audience, of the 27 eligible students here at Mandela, all 27 are here today. So let's give them all a round of applause. So graduates, today is your day. A time to celebrate you and all of your accomplishments. We couldn't be more proud. And I also want to congratulate the families, friends, caring adults in the audience, staff members, school board members, and volunteers. In many ways, we're sharing this day with you. We'll remember this day alongside you. You are a shining example of what greatness can look like. Moving the tassel from your right to the left signifies another accomplishment in life and a journey that lies ahead. Take advantage of this opportunity that lies in front of you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of taking a risk. You don't know what that risk could lead to. When opportunity knocks, open the door. You don't know what's going to lie on the other side. You have adapted and you have overcome. We spoke about it earlier. Through the pandemic, through remote learning, you're here today. You're here today because of your drive, because of your willingness not to give up, and also, once you receive that IB and that high school diploma, it guarantees a greater quality of life for you. Strive to be great. The only one that can prevent you from greatness is yourself. Remember that. You are in the driver's seat. All of us, educators, principals, bus drivers, student nutrition workers, custodial staff, our wonderful security department, we're here for you. We're here about you, and we want you to be successful as you move forward. For those of you pursuing a lifelong dream that started in kindergarten, we know you're ready. For those following in the footsteps of those who influenced them, we know you're ready. For those who participated in work-based learning program or an internship or a pathway or the IB curriculum, you're well on your way. Sometimes the path forward comes from a latent spark somewhere along this path and this journey. Helping you find this passion in life is going to be your next mission. Don't be surprised when it happens. It's supposed to happen. It's happened for all of us in this room. It no doubt happened to the educators who have helped you along this path. It was our mission, our goal, our educational path to provide you the opportunity to graduate and give you the education you deserve. Believe in yourself, knowing that there's going to be many barriers in front of you, many walls you're going to have to break down, many bumps in the road that you're going to have to get over. But just as you did throughout your entire educational career and through the pandemic, we know you can do it. You are a Santa Fe Public Schools graduate, a Mandela International Magnet School graduate. You are creative problem solvers, critical thinkers, academically proficient, civic and socially responsible, compassionate, culturally sensitive, and a collaborative team player. The world is yours for the taking. It's full of bright prospects. Take the next walk on the moon. Paint the sky the way you see it. Pen your story. Create the footsteps for others to follow. And lastly, my last piece of advice is, you don't lose or fail if you get knocked down. You lose or fail when you stay down. If you can look up, you can get up, and you can try again. And we learn from our failures. So again, graduates of 2023, this day is yours. You've got this. Always remember, we've got your back, your supporters have your back, and you will always be welcome back here in Santa Fe. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Thank you, Superintendent Chavez. I'd like to invite to the podium Santa Fe Public Schools Board President Sarah Bosé, who will share a message with us.
Thank you very much for the introduction. And thank you to friends, family, and faculty for being here to celebrate you, the class of 2023. It is my incredible honor and privilege to represent the Board of Education as I speak to you today. I spent months thinking about what I might say to you in this speech. What would feel relevant and meaningful to you? Or at the very least, what wouldn't be terribly boring? I thought about what I would have liked to hear when I was sitting in your seat 25 years ago. I was pretty sure that there would be a connection to music, because music is and always has been one of the most important parts of my identity. When you read advice about how to write a graduation speech, which I did yesterday, just to make sure I was on the right track, everything says to find an inspirational quote. I had one in mind, but it was pretty silly. So I read and searched and tried to find something that was more universally inspiring. Everything seemed a bit trite. I went back to my original quote. It is silly. It is related to music, and it works. It's from a childhood book most of us have probably read called Hop on Pop. I read that book nightly for what felt like a very long time when my kids were tiny. In reality, it was probably only a few months, but it was long enough that I had the book pretty well memorized. A coworker and I talked about Hop on Pop one day at work. They also had children of the same age and had been reading that book incessantly. Somehow, we landed on the topic of the thing that sings. She sings a long song. It resonated because of the stage in our life that we were in, raising young children. We talked about how life was a long song, and it became something we said to each other during hard times, whether at the cancer center where we worked, or in parenting, or life in general. We'd just say, it's a long song, and it became a way for us to remember to have perspective. So there's the musical tie-in. Life is a long song, full of highs and lows, some intense, some mellow. Life is full of moments, some joyous, like today, some heartbreaking, some bittersweet, also maybe like today, some peaceful, some uncertain and scary, also maybe like today, and everything in between. I overcame some hardships leading up to my graduation from high school. I got pregnant during my junior year and had to move schools for my senior year. It was heartbreaking and lonely, and I felt a lot of shame, but I graduated. I went to college and I got my bachelor's degree in nursing from New Mexico State, all as a single mom, but not without the support of some incredible friends. And I mention that because some of the people that you're sitting with, some of those friendships you formed in school, some of those people might be with you during some of your very darkest moments. I learned a lot about persistence and what's important and how much shame doesn't serve us. I realized it's important to talk about our hardships and our heartbreaks. When you talk and you share, you realize you aren't alone. So my words of wisdom to you are this, the same words I wish my 18-year-old self had been able to hear. During those moments of darkness, of hardship and heartache and struggle, hang on. This is just a moment, just a low note, and it will pass. Rarely does it pass as quickly as we want it to, but it will, eventually. and there is joy on the other side of the darkness if you hang on. Life is a long song. My second piece of advice is be present. Keep your eyes and your heart open. Look for the beauty and the kindness in the moments. Pay attention to the details. Pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to people who have very different experiences than your own. Keep your eyes and your heart open, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Talk and share and connect. This is what it means to be human. And then I caved and found an actual real inspirational quote that tied in perfectly from the Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. We truly want to celebrate you and everything you've accomplished, all the hard work it took to get here. You made it. Enjoy the moment. I know it has not been easy. Being a teenager is not easy. You went through one of the hardest parts of your life, and you did it through COVID. I know it has been a struggle at least part of the time, but you made it. You are capable of greatness. Hold on to hope. Thank you.
Thank you, Board President Bosé. And in a treat for all of us, we'll invite Grace Maurice to the stage for an original student performance that she wrote as part of her diploma program.
Wow, there's a lot of people. Hi, I'm Grace. This is a song I wrote called I Know Place, and it's sort of about going through life, and I don't know, I thought it would be good for graduation, so. We're gonna do a sound check real quick. Can you let me know if you can hear this? Like, over the mic? Okay. Cool. With memory and a little bit of reverie, I gotta go way back to the chase, chasing through the fields, and I have yet to yield, but in the downs way down low I must have kneeled. Running through the pines I walk these fine lines, I gotta go, I would never have the spine. Top of the old blue chest, afraid to read, afraid I'll bleed, afraid I'll be left bereft. Secrets shall be whole, even of the most bold, hidden away, words will always be foretold. And I know a place, and it is a race, but in the downs, way down low, we all know it's laced. Thank you.
We'd like to bring Grace back for an encore, but perhaps at the after party. Isn't music a wonderful thing? Thank you, Grace. Let's bring our salutatorian to the stage, Solomon Ehlers.
Hello. Grace was right. There are a lot of you. Hi, everyone. Thank you. If you know me, you know I have not the best memory. I forgot my cap today. My family was able to bring it to me, which I am very appreciative for, but I was sitting in the front row without a cap, and that made me really nervous. But there is one thing I will not forget, and it is being at Mandela. I feel happy calling all of you at Mandela my friends, classmates and staff alike. We've all gone through this year together, and many other years, gone through the IB together, and I think you can all attest that it's difficult to get through the IB, to get through hardship together without becoming closer. Classmates, I want to congratulate you all, not just for completing our exams, but for everything we had to do to even get to that point. Personally, I found the exams much less stressful than the rest of it. I don't know if all of you can relate to that. Everything else was far more difficult. I'm sure we've all cried over some assignment. Has anyone not cried? Raise a hand. No? Okay, you cried? Good. You have? Good. Good. We've all cried over some summative, either because we didn't know nearly enough, we felt like we didn't know nearly enough to get started, or because it was on our mind and we just couldn't get ourselves to do it. And yet we're here. Not only are those behind us, they're behind us because we were able to turn something in. It might have been bad. Many of mine were, but we are here. They're behind us because we are capable of finishing them. Not just the exams, not just the summatives, but we are capable of doing everything else. And our next challenge, which is yet again sure to stress us all out, is leaving. We have to leave this behind, away from the comfortability, away from the usual, to new things. Congrats. Teachers and staff, I want to thank you. Teachers at the school feel much less like authorities and much more like mentors or friends, guiding us. You prove every day that you not only want us to pass, but you want us to succeed further. You provide support when we need it and when we don't, and you gave us all the tools that we had to use to get to where we are. Not only did you give us the just straight up information to pass the exams, but you gave us important skills, writing, analyzing, connecting. More important than all of that, though, you did give us your friendship. It is only at this school that I have ever seen teachers so close to their students. And I can just say, it helps. It helps us feel comfortable asking for an extension because maybe we've put it off a little bit and we kind of felt unable to even start, but maybe because we have a personal issue and we come to you. But thank you all for what you've done for us. And the staff outside of the teachers, I want to thank you all too. Everyone outside of the classroom that makes Mandela a good school. Grillo, Lydia, Joanne, I want to thank you all for holding the school together. Mandela would be even more of a mess without you all. I want to recognize the work that the custodial team does for us, providing us food, clean environment, so we can have a fresh area every day for a fresh mind. I am forever grateful for them for cleaning up both our messes and especially the middle schoolers' messes. I want to acknowledge the security for keeping the school safe for students to come in every day. Without all of you, we wouldn't be able to be in the same community. At the end of the day, we are friends. Us seniors had many memories, of course, together. Especially fresh on our minds is the 100 elk trip, sorry to all of you who weren't there. Singing at the campfire together because of Grace singing for us. That's going to be a cherished memory. And again, I forget a lot. I'm not going to forget that. particular moment during COVID was us playing games together online. A very needed activity for us because we were kind of rotting on our own, I think. I was, at least. But that will also be a forever memory for me. I also want to acknowledge all of us who have been here since 7th grade, shout out, but I want to congratulate those who weren't here since 7th grade, because not only have you guys been able to come to the school, you came to the school without the information that you need for the IB. I don't think I could have done that. It's hard. I would not have been able to. Either way, we've all shared many moments, and that's thanks to all of us, that's thanks to our teachers, that's thanks to staff. Many of these moments will be remembered, but many won't. Every single day, we have lots of memories together. Memories that I won't remember, because again, I forget things, but every moment, I always laugh. Every day, I laugh at least once. I'm sure all of you do too. And we would not even be together without the teachers and staff bringing us all together into one school, one community. Our community includes every single one of us, and I'm really glad that it does. To quote many people over time, thank you.
Thank you, Solomon. And we've learned as a staff about those flexible deadlines, Solomon. The poor juniors. I'd like to invite to the stage our valedictorian for 2023, Sadie O'Sullivan.
Made it. Hello, everyone. First things first, I would like to take a moment to address my teachers, because I truly would not be here without them, as Solomon said. Mr. Parker and Mr. Green, thank you for giving me a space to always make music, as it especially helped me calm my mind before a scary biology test. Mr. Newworth, all those times I doubted myself on the bio tests. Your reassurance would remind me that it isn't the end of the world if I don't remember the exact function of a neurotransmitter, but I promise I do. Thank you for igniting such a passion for science in me. Mr. Weaver, is he here? Okay, hi Mr. Weaver. I know you weren't our teacher this year, but I wanted to take a moment to say, getting through 9,986 lines of the Aeneid would not have been possible without your sense of humor. Señora Sánchez, gracias por todo. Lo que nos has enseñado es invaluable, abriéndonos a tantas nuevas culturas. Mr. Larson, TOK, as confusing as a class as it could be, was always fun with our heated debates and inconclusive rants. Thank you. Mr. Forrester, your advice and therapy sessions were truly the reason I was able to feel more at ease about my college decision. Thank you for all of your insight. Mr. Mailing, my absolutely favorite DP history teacher of all time. Thank you for drilling the importance of getting our HI done into all of our minds. I know how grateful we are for that now. Mr. Penzer, always there to do math together. And despite our lack of enthusiasm at times, you made math class one of the most enjoyable experiences. And finally, Miss Pickering. Don't worry, I didn't forget about you. I have always been inspired by your dedication and organization. How do you do it? Not only that, but your wonderful sense of fashion and how you were there for me when I needed someone most. I will always look up to you. Thank you. Because we've just finished our 13th year of school, I wanted to take this time to look back on it all. So, here are 13 things I've learned from each year I've been in school. Kindergarten. Your drawings are always beautiful, even if they look nothing like what they're supposed to be. First grade. This one's for Mrs. Call. It's okay to not get a smiley face on your homework. You don't have to be perfect. Just try your best. Second grade. Fractions are hard. So hard that every time since I learned about them, I have denied their existence and converted them to decimals. Third grade. Making mistakes is okay. Learning to apologize is super important, and sometimes you have to apologize again and again and again to get that certain best friend to love you once more. Fourth grade, the year iPads were introduced to my life. I will never be the same. Fifth grade, change is good. Change helps us grow, and it takes us out of our comfort zone. But you do adapt. Give it time. Sixth grade, the year homework actually started to become difficult and I had to learn about the scary concept of time management. Oh no, I can't play with my Barbies all day. Seventh grade, isn't middle school just awful? Eighth grade, part 2 of the awfulness. Ninth grade, please, please, please do not follow every single trend that you see. Reference Visco girls. 10th grade, sometimes life gives you a pandemic, and you have to learn how to make pandemonade. 11th grade, the year I learned about how much people love to talk about college, and more college, and more college. 12th grade, losing loved ones is scary, and heartbreaking, and every other daunting feeling in between. But losing loved ones also allows you to see all the other loved ones who come together to bring you chocolate whenever you need it, or simply just to give you a shoulder to cry on. And on that note, I would like to thank my supportive parents, family, teachers, and friends for helping me to the finish line, even when I wasn't sure I was going to make it there myself. Because after 13 years of ups and downs in school, the most important thing I've learned is to be there for others and let others be there for you. And to the class of 2023, it's going to be okay. Things may feel impossible right now, but they felt impossible before, and you've gotten through it. I know it's hard sometimes, but take care of yourself. Try not to be self-destructive, because we all know where that leads. And believe me, I know how hard it can be. Don't force yourself to be happy, and forgive yourself when you're not. Accept that it isn't forever. Appreciate the small things. Breathe in fresh air. Rest. Don't judge when all you can do is lie in bed. Let yourself take breaks. Reconnect with old things you love. Find new things you love. Cry as often as you want. Let yourself feel lost and confused. Don't force happiness. It will come. You are your own person, aside from your struggles, aside from the people around you. You exist as yourself, not for anyone else. Every laugh you've laughed, every tear you've spilled, every brilliant or dull thought you've ever had belongs to you. Take care of it all by giving yourself a hug. As a matter of fact, give yourself a hug right now. Or give a friend a hug, and I promise you, it will all be okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sadie. Now, those of you in the audience for this next section, you'll just keep looking directly where you're looking, because we'll be looking at the screen. If you're here on stage, I invite you to perhaps stand off to one side, and we've got a senior celebration.
must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many years can a mountain exist before it is washed to the sea? Yes, and how many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? Yes, and how many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Yes, and how many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? Yes, and how many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? Yes, and how many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
For this next section, we'll have the superintendent's cabinet and our board members and board president over here. I'll stand right about the midline, and we need to present diplomas to you. So we'll have our counselor, Mr. Dutcher, come to stage to help me out.
Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending the University of New Mexico, Armando Alexain Ahumada Lopez.
En esta parte, si quieren venir a acercarse al podio para sacar fotos, pueden. You can definitely come up to the stage to take pictures during this time, because this is the only time. Que se arrimen. Right, thank you.
Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending the University of New Mexico, Giovanna Avalos Bunya. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Ari Bear. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Liliana Botwin. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending St. John's College, Annapolis, Sosiah Call. IB course candidate, attending Santa Fe Community College, Kayla Dutton Leda. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, a super scholar, attending the University of New Mexico, your salutatorian, Solomon Ehlers. IB course candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending the University of New Mexico, Onel Espinosa. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, member of National Honor Society, and attending Purdue University, Andrew Fontana. IB course candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending Point Park University, Elena Isabel Garcia. Full IB diploma candidate, attending the University of New Mexico, Jasmine Gonzalez Rutt. IB course candidate, attending New Mexico State University, Zenaida Hernandez. IB course candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending University of New Mexico, Victoria Hogan. Full IB diploma candidate, attending the University of New Mexico, Suraj Khalsa. IB course candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending the University of New Mexico, Luis Martinez Lopez. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Grace Ann Maurice. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Julia Parker Maurice. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending the University of Arizona, your valedictorian, Sadie O'Sullivan. Full IB diploma candidate, attending St. John's College in Santa Fe, Ian Olafson. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Eileen Ornelas. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, a New Mexico Davis Scholar, attending Denver University, Cassandra Perez Rubalcaba. Full IB diploma candidate, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and Spanish, attending Bowdoin College, Fernanda Rodas. IB course candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending the University of New Mexico, Lucena Torres. Full IB diploma candidate, attending DePaul University, Jonathan Slater Huff. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending Portland State University, Hazel Teague Gustina. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, recipient of the New Mexico Seal of Bilingualism in English and French, attending the University of New Mexico, Lynn Ineza Thorpe. Full IB diploma candidate, member of National Honor Society, attending University of Colorado Boulder, Madison Ray Vigil.
Is Is it all right if we stay standing for this last little bit? All right. And Lions, you'll need to stay standing as well. As principal of Mandela International Magnet School, I certify that these seniors have met or exceeded all of the requirements set forth by the Santa Fe Public Schools Board of Education and the State of New Mexico. Board President Bose, Superintendent Chavez, I hereby declare the class of 2023 to be graduates of Mandela International Magnet School. Do you accept them?
Yes.
Graduates, you may now move your tassels from the right side of your caps to the left, and you are graduated. Do we do the recessional? Do we even see this?